Hi BookTube! My name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter. Today I'm coming to you with a reading challenges video for 2025. Now, I don't have a lot of stuff that I'm challenging myself to do next year, but there are a couple things that I want to do that I thought I would talk to you about in this video. Now, originally I was going to do a video today talking about some holiday Harlequin category romance books that I recommend that you read, but I'm doing shorts every day. So I thought that was a bit of overkill. So I thought, let's instead talk about some of my challenges. Now, I know a lot of people wait till later in the month to do this, but I thought, I've got a lot of stuff kind of coming up at the end of the month as well. So let's do this video now. And again, I'm not listing a whole bunch of stuff I plan on doing next year. I just kind of want to, I'm happy to be back in my reading groove, but there are a couple things that I want to look at doing. And the first thing was something that I've been contemplating on actually for a number of years. And I keep thinking about it every year and I'm like, I don't do it because I don't know exactly how I wanted to do it. So after a lot of thought over the last few weeks, I finally figured out exactly how I want to do this personal challenge. And it's in regards to the Goodreads Choice Awards. So every year the Goodreads Choice Awards come out and, they are, we see them, we get vote on them, we don't. It's all completely a fan-based thing. It's a popularity contest, basically, is the Goodreads Choice Awards. But it's still fun to see the books. Now, the thing with them is that I don't tend to read a lot of new releases. You guys might notice that. I'm kind of more of a backlist girl. And that's fine, because I will eventually get to them. They just won't be new releases when I get to them. But I was going through the list, and my original plan had been, let's read one book from each category. But there are a lot of categories I know I wouldn't like science fiction. I'm not a big memoir person, stuff like that. Fiction, like general fiction, is just not something that really appeals to me. I have my core set of genres that I enjoy. So what I did, and then I thought, well, maybe I'll pick so many from each of the genres. And then there were a couple that I didn't really. So these are not one of the books I have on this list is a winner. So what I did was I picked 12 books. I went through all of the books that were ultimately the ones that were up for the final choice. And I think there was 20 in each category. And what I did was from those 20 in each category, all the categories, is I picked 12 books. And I could have picked a lot more than 12, but I went with my top 12 and I decided that these were the ones that I wanted to read next year. So basically a way for me to kind of read some new releases. I just happened to use the Goodreads Choice Awards to pick those books. So this, I thought I'd go through the 12 of them and share them with you. Some of them may be a bit of a surprise to you guys because, they might be genres that you might be surprised that I'd actually be wanting to read. But I think most of them are pretty much going to be, oh yeah, that's definitely a book that Sarah wants to read. Sorry about that. Presley is still dealing with his cold. He's feeling better, but it's still working like a lot of us. The colds tend to linger, you know what I mean? So let me go through my list here. So the first one that we have was actually the winner, I think, for the historical fiction, and that is The Women by Kristen Hanna. So I am really looking forward to this one. I have the Book of the Month Club edition of it. I got this when it was released, and I still haven't read it yet. From the celebrated author of The Nightingale and The Four Winds comes The Women. Once an intimate portrait of a coming of age in a dangerous time and an epic tale of a nation divided. So this takes place during Vietnam. My aunt has read it. She said it was phenomenal. A lot of people have read this and said it was really, really good. I need to get to it. So this was my pick, one of my picks of the 12. So basically how I'm going to work this, by the way, is I'm going to get a little jar. I have a cute little David's Tea tin that is clean and empty. And I'm going to write all these book titles on pieces of paper, stick them in the tin. And then when I do my TBRs every month, I'm going to pull a book. And that is the one that I'm going to read. So out of these 12, I actually own 5 of them. So kind of a good way to get to them as well. So yeah, so The Women by Kristen Hanna, that was my pick in the historical fiction category. Now, some of the categories, I have more than one book. Mystery thriller, romance, no surprise there. But some of them might only have one. So next into the mystery thriller category, the first one, this will be no surprise, is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. This is the first in the We Solve Murders series. The author, of course, of the Thursday Murder Club. I am so looking forward to this book. I cannot wait to get to it. My friend Rick bought me this copy And yeah, I love the Thursday Murder Club. I cannot wait to get to this one. I love the cover of this book. I think it's delightful. My thing with this, though, when I was looking at the Goodreads Choice Awards, is that this one, you know, I mean, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it would have won or not, if I would have picked it to win. But the thing is that this didn't come out till like September. And the voting started, what, in November? So that doesn't give it a lot of time. You know what I mean? So you have to wonder, you know, when these things are being voted on. Anyway, that's just a side note. But yeah, this one is going to be on the list as well. The next one is another one that I own, and this one might surprise some of you, but I picked this one up at the Indigo when I was in hospital. I have wanted to read this author. I just haven't gotten to them yet. And again, in the mystery thriller category, we have Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. So this was 25% off when I bought it. In the latest jaw-dropping thriller from New York Times bestselling author Riley Sager, a man must contend with the long-ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. I love this kind of thing. These kind of thrillers. Lisa Jewell writes these really well, too. These more domestic thrillers. So I'm interested in getting to this one. For those of you who have read it, don't spoil anything for me, obviously. But yeah, so this one is going to go on my list as well. Also in the mystery thriller category, just because this one sounded absolutely freaking delightful, is How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin. So I'll pop a cover of it up here. This one looks so good. It says, it's 1965 and teenage Frances Adams is at an English country fair with her two best friends. But Frances's night takes a hairpin turn when a fortune teller makes a bone-chilling prediction. One day, Frances will be murdered. Frances spends a lifetime trying to solve a crime that hasn't happened yet, compelling dirt on every person who crosses her path in an effort to prevent her own demise. For decades, no one takes Frances seriously until nearly 60 years later, when Frances is found murdered, and like she always said she would be. And then it says, in the present day, Annie Adams has been summoned to a meeting at the sprawling country estate of her wealthy, recluse great-aunt Frances. So then the niece has to solve the murder. And this looks so charming and delightful. It is listed, of course, as a mystery thriller, but it's also listed as a cozy mystery. So I think it might be a little, I don't know, we'll see. It's the first book in the Castle Knoll Files series, and it says here it's a Jimmy Fallon book club finalist. I'm like, Jimmy Fallon has a book club? But then I think he's written a couple of children's books, hasn't he? So good for him. But yeah, I love the premise of this, and I'm like, I need to read it. It just sounds absolutely delightful. So the next one is in the romance category, and this is an author I don't think I've ever read before. And I saw it and I thought, okay, it looks good, let's give it a try. And this is Funny Story by Emily Henry. Daphne always loved the way her fiancé Peter told their story, how they met on a blustery day, fell in love over an errant hat, and moved back to his lakeside hometown to begin their life together. He was really good at telling it, right up until the moment he realized he was actually in love with his childhood best friend Petra, which is how Daphne begins her new story. Stranded in the beautiful Waning Bay, Michigan, without friends or family, but with a dream job as a children's librarian that barely pays the bills, and proposing to be roommates with the only person who could possibly understand her predicament, Petra's ex, Miles Nowak. And that's all I'm going to read about it. It looks really cute. And again, I know everybody is big fans of Emily Henry. And I am looking forward to this one. So yeah, we shall see. The next one is another romance. This is no surprise to anybody. The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I have to get to this one. I have another Book of the Month Club edition of it, or this one, and I need to read it. So yeah, this one just sounds delightful. I did start it, but I just didn't get very far into it. It was just, I think, when I was going into hospital. Christina Lauren returns with a delicious new romance between the buttoned-up heir of a grocery store chain and his free-spirited artist ex, as they fake their relationship in order to receive a massive inheritance. Pretty standard tropes in romance. I am really looking forward to getting to this one. You know, I think it's going to be delightful. Next up, we have, let me see here. Another one in the romance category, another author that I have never actually read, but I know is a big fan favorite on BookTube and Book Talk and all the places, and that is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Rue Sherbert may not have it all, but she has had enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, and a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard-fought until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. I love the fact that Ali Hazelwood does a lot of STEM heroines and stuff like that. So yeah, I have heard good things about this author. I need to read her other books. I know Melissa at Library and Labradors gave me, like, I think her first book, and it's still on my shelf. I need to get to it. But yeah, this is definitely one that is going on the list for 2025. The next one, I picked a book from the Romantasy category, guys. Now, I'm going to call this Romantasy Light because it's not involving dragons. This isn't Fourth Wing, you guys. I do have Fourth Wing on my, I do have a copy of Fourth Wing, and maybe I'll get to it next year. We shall see. But yeah, this one looked really cute. And this is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And this just sounded so delightful. I just read the little bit at the beginning, and I'm like, the cover sold me as well. The Spell Shop is Sarah Beth Durst's Romantasy debut, a lush cottagecore tale full of stolen spell books, unexpected friendships, sweet jams, and even sweeter love. That's all I want to know about it. It looks delightful. I think that this will be a good kind of, inkling into the Romantasy for me. Maybe it'll be something I'll end up really liking. Who knows? Who knows? So that's that one. The next one is actually in the horror genre of all places. I know, but this book probably won't be coming as a surprise to you guys, and that is Murder Road by Simone St. James. I love Simone St. James's work. I think she's fantastic. She's a Canadian author. She's from Toronto. I have read most of her backlist, starting with The Broken Girls and Sundown Motel and The Cold Case Files. I loved all of them. I bought this book on audio. Like, I pre-ordered this on audio when I heard it was coming out, and I still haven't read it yet, so I need to get to it. A young couple finds themselves haunted by a string of gruesome murders committed along the old deserted road in this terrifying new novel. That's all I want to know. It's Simone St. James. I am very much looking forward to this one. Cannot wait to get to it. The next one I think is a newer category, or maybe they had it last year as well, and that is audiobook. Now, when I was looking at the audiobook category, most of the books were listed in other categories. It was just, oh, this is the audiobook. And I have to wonder, did people vote on it as an audiobook, or did they vote on it as the book? Does that make sense? So the one book that I chose for this is actually a book that is an Audible exclusive, and it's only available on audio. You cannot get this as a book. And in my personal opinion, for the audiobook category for the Choice Awards, maybe that's how it should be. These, exclusives to, like these full cast recordings, these, these are done as an audiobook, like almost like back in the day, like an old school radio drama kind of an idea. And this is done with a full cast recording, to my understanding. And the book is Maybe This Time by Cara Bastone. I love Cara Bastone. She's delightful. Her books are hilarious. She does so many of these Audible exclusives or Audible originals, and I love them so, so much. So, romance can be a little complicated when you get sucked into a wormhole. Just ask high school English teacher June Flint. One little solar flare happens, and suddenly you find yourself 85 years in the future. 85 years from your dream job. Your ailing mother whose only companion in this world is you. Your favorite stuffed crust pizza from Deluche's on Sunday nights. But when June's cell phone inexplicably picks up a signal, she's able to call back to the present, more specifically 4 weeks before she accidentally time traveled. Problem is, the phone can only call one number. Her work nemesis, gym teacher Mikey Shannon. That's all I want to know. I love the premise of this, like that whole time travel thing. I think it's going to be so much fun. And yeah, I am really, really looking forward to this one. It's listed at about 6 hours on audio. So, and the last two books that I have on my list here are YA fiction novels. I do really enjoy a lot of young adult fiction, not the fantasy, but just like the fiction, the romance novels, the horror books or the thriller books. I really like those. And this first one is like a thrillery type book. And this is Death at Morning House by Maureen Johnson. This one looked really good. From the best-selling author of the Truly Devious books, Maureen Johnson comes to a new standalone YA about a teen who uncovers a mystery while working as a tour guide on an island and must solve it before history repeats itself. I love the closed door, like the locked room kind of an idea of the whole thing of it being on an island, like, and then there were none by Agatha Christie. There's only a set group of suspects and the whole thing. I have heard a lot of good things about this author. I think it was Karen over at Rather Be Reading. She used to have a channel. I follow her still on Instagram. She's from Australia. I miss her channel. Karen, if you ever see this, I know life is, but come back to BookTube. We miss you. But she talked about this author, and I think she talked about the Truly Devious books. And yeah, this one sounds really good, and I'd really, really like to read it. And the last one is actually a sapphic romance, a sapphic YA romance. And this is a Ba Me for Two. Now, I looked up the pronunciation of that, and I think I got it right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I did listen to it, and I think I got it. This is by Trinity Nugent. And it said, in this sweet sapphic romance about two foodies in love, Vivi meets Lan while studying abroad in Vietnam, and they spend a semester unraveling their family's histories and eating all the street food in Saigon. And this just sounds so cute. The cover is the most adorable thing, and I love it so much. And I cannot wait to get to this book. It looks so, so cute. And I'm excited to read it. Yay. So anyway, those are the 12 books from the 2024 Goodreads Choice Awards that I picked to read in 2025. And then maybe in 2026, I'll do it the same for 2025 Goodreads Choice Awards. Who knows? So the other challenge that I plan on doing is I have a number of Book of the Month books. And I'm still getting them. That's the one thing is that I do get Book of the Month because I do enjoy getting them. And my goal is to read one Book of the Month club book every month. So here's the good thing. A couple of these books that I have, The Women and the Paradise Problem, I have both on Book of the Month. So when these come up that month, it's going to be a 2-in-1. I'll be able to read a Book of the Month club edition, and I will also be reading for the Goodreads Choice Awards challenge that I'm doing. So other than that, I am going to do a Goodreads goal. I know people are like, a Goodreads goal. I think I'm going to put myself maybe around 200 books for next year. We shall see. My goal is maybe around 20 books a month. So, I think I might do a monthly goal as opposed to a yearly goal. I'll still put the yearly goal on Goodreads, but in my brain, it'll be more like a monthly goal. So we shall see how that goes. But really, other than that, my biggest goal for next year is just to read more and enjoy my reading more. If I'm not enjoying a book, put it down, DNF it, it's fine. And fall back in love with it. I am so excited about next year to get back to reading and get back to who I am and who I've been and kind of put the last year and a half kind of behind me in a way. I was talking to my friend Rick the other day on WhatsApp, and he was saying that the doctors told him it can take up to 6 months for us to actually start to feel like how we are going to feel going forward. And if it's anything at all like how I feel now, it's just going to be spectacular because I'm already feeling fantastic. And it'll be 2 months Saturday, 2 months. Yeah. So you guys are going to see this video on Friday. It'll be 2 months tomorrow will be the transplant. So that's pretty exciting. And, I'm feeling more and more like myself. I am going to be honest and say the one great thing about next year is that I'm going to be off work for a good chunk of it, if not the whole thing. So I think next year is going to be an epic year for reading for me, based on just now knowing being at home for the last couple of months. It's been spectacular. I have gotten so much reading done and crafting done and just relaxing and enjoying this time off. I'm going to take the break and I'm going to enjoy it. And I think next year is going to be a spectacular year for reading. And then once I start to feel better, Garrett and I can start going out and doing things next summer. And I can't wait. And it's going to be fantastic. So anyway, guys, let me know. Do you have any goals for 2025? What are you looking forward to in the new year? There's just something about the new year that's just magical, I think. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you in my next video. Take care and happy reading, everybody.